I think it's that Bruce Lee quote, "Be like water." Sometimes you have to go with the flow a little bit. Of course, time is key.
Right.
Structure is key.
That's right.
But we live in a world where, opportunities come outside of the structure.
Peace and power. Welcome to another episode of Raw Success.
Yes.
My name is True Khepra.
And I'm Mack Bonnet.
Yeah. And our mission and purpose is to empower you to be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
So, brother, how's it going, man?
I'm good, brother. Good.
Yo, listen, fam. I miss my friend because of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really speak on the phone anymore because the phone calls turned into podcasts.
Yeah.
So we were like, yo, we just not going to speak until we get in front of the mic.
Yeah.
So now, we do have some small talk every now and then and important messages that we share.
Yes.
How was your week, King?
It was productive, good week in real estate.
Nice.
Able to salvage some deals. So
Okay.
That's always good. But yeah, it was productive. What about yours?
Mine was cool, man. I had a interesting moment. Can I share?
Please.
So I met Joe Budden.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was working for those out there that may not know. I'm also an X-ray tech. That's what I do full time.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of that, I don't want to segue too much, but I want to talk about this whole entrepreneur jobs are for suckers that people are spreading, which is totally whack. 100%. Working and having a job is not for suckers. It's a noble thing.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship is great also. They're both great, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was on my way to Newark to do an X-ray.
Okay.
Shout out to Newark and Bricks, word. And dispatch called me. It was like, yo, we want you to go somewhere else. So I'm already getting annoyed because I have my path set. I'm gonna go to Newark, bang out these 2 cases, and go home after that. And you know me, my brother, I'm a structured person. So I was like, oh, man. It was like, please, like damn near begging, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, all right, I'll do it, And mind you, while I'm on my way to this next location, I'm like feeling regretful. Like, man, why did I do this? I should have just stuck to my plan.
Uh-huh.
So I get to the spot, unload the machine, get to the building, and tell the doorman, yeah, I'm here to see apartment so-and-so. I'm being vague on point. I'm being vague
details
on purpose because of privacy reasons. Mm-hmm. And the doorman goes, oh, that's Joe Budden. I'm like, Joe who? It was like Joe Budden with the podcast. I was like, what? So that, you know what I'm saying? I get a little starstruck. I even go front. Listen, man, salute to the Power Father. And, I went upstairs and, came through. The brother was mad peace, super cool. Yeah. The whole staff. Something that I realized, they got like a little miniature army in the studio. So, yeah, man, I ended up doing this X-ray. Apparently, he got into a confrontation. And
that's funny. Not to cut you off, but actually on my way here, I was on YouTube and looked up, and one of the things that popped up was, Joe Budden's podcast, and he was talking about that altercation that he had, I guess, in a club or something.
Right.
And he had a cast on his arm.
Yes. So the reason why he had that cast on is because I did his X-ray.
Oh, wow.
And the radiologist read the X-ray, and obviously he has a fractured, I don't know what. And for privacy reasons, I can't say anything.
Yeah, wow.
But so yeah. So I met the brother. And so a lot of people, he posted it on the gram.
Oh, wow.
He posted the pic on the gram, and some people noticed me right away. Some people, even in the message part was like, yo, True, is this you? And so it was hilarious, man. It was a great thing, great moment. Some people asked me like, yo, did you tell them about your podcast? Did you tell them about your this? The 1,000 projects. Yeah. So they were actually in the middle of recording.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, I didn't want to be obnoxious, disrespectful. Like, at the end of the day, like, we all have our own profession, and that's that man's profession and craft.
Yeah.
So I wanted to respect that. I appreciate the fact that he, so there was like a little moment where there was a break. And I was like, I respectfully asked him, is this an inappropriate time for me to asked for a picture. He was like, nah, not at all. He was, told his team, yo, hold up, let me take a picture with the brother. And we took a pic, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we didn't really get to have any, it wasn't like we were chilling. He was working, I was working, and I chose to be professional.
Yes.
And the other thing, too, is I took that as a sign that we are on our way. And next time I see him, because my brother Joe, Jersey stand up, by the way, I will see you again, and we'll be at a different place in our journey.
Yes.
So we'll have more to offer. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So I just took it as a sign from the universe, man. Like, yo, keep on keeping on, keep your left foot forward and keep going.
That's dope. But it's a few takeaways I get from that. One, for the listeners, as you know, this is still early within our podcast journey.
Yes.
Right. So to see someone that is actually, I think he's like voted like top 5 podcasts right
He's
now.
considered the podfather.
So that's a sign within itself.
Right.
And another sign, I guess, is for you is sometimes those opportunities come, and those opportunities are never going to be planned. So just imagine if you remain stern, like, look, no, I have this planned out for the day. I don't have time to really change my structure to accommodate you. Like, just that opportunity would have been missed. So I think it's that Bruce Lee quote, be like water. Sometimes you have to go with the flow a little bit. Of course, time is key.
Right.
Structure is key.
That's right.
But we live in a world where, opportunities come outside of the structure.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
That's dope.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've definitely, because the beautiful thing about my life is that I have some great people like this brother right here in my life that they're not yes men. Like, they tell me, they give me some great feedback, and some of that feedback is positive. Some of it is negative. And I wouldn't even label it negative, because if it helps me be a better person or better at anything, that it's not negative at the end of the day. But I've been told that I've been too rigid. Definitely my wife says I'm too rigid, and so I keep that in mind sometimes.
Yeah.
I definitely keep that in mind. And it's tough. It's tough when to know when to be rigid and when not to be rigid, So I would say in that moment, just go with that inner voice, that inner calling, because initially, like, I didn't want to do it. And then I said, you know what? So I did think to myself, like, yo, this job, like, they look out for me. They're great. They're good people. And let me go ahead and do it. So I did consider that. In my thought process. And I was like, man, I already got my day planned out, man. I'm about to go to Newark and boom, go to the gym. That's what I was going to do. Go to the gym afterwards and then to the kingdom. But yeah, absolutely. You definitely got to learn to, like, go with the flow sometimes.
Sometimes. Because you never know what opportunities are awaiting you.
Right.
Yeah.
How was your week, man? I know you mentioned we were text messaging each other for a little bit, and you mentioned having a roller coaster. I don't know if that was last week or this week.
Yeah. I mean, so that was last week, but that roller coaster came into this week. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. As you know, I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And right now, business is pretty good.
Ashe.
But the thing with real estate is, oftentimes, as you just said, it's a roller coaster. You could go from having 6, 7, 10 deals, and then next thing you know, 4 of those deals are like falling apart. And those 4 deals might be 30, 40,000. So you could go from having 50,000 in commissions about to come to now having 20 or 10 or none at all, so that's just one of the things about entrepreneurship that unfortunately isn't highlighted enough, especially as you mentioned earlier in the conversation with social media. They have a tendency right now to make people feel as if, one, we all have to be entrepreneurs. We all have to own our businesses. If you don't, then, for lack of a better term, you're a sucker. You're trading in your time for money.
Right.
And 2, the other aspect of that is that entrepreneurship is easy. You start a business. money starts flowing immediately, which I wish that was the case.
Right.
But no, that's definitely not the case. And we have to get out of that mindset. And some of these, you know, quote unquote influencers have to stop job shaming people, you know?
Right. Yeah.